Well, as we've been reporting, the US and UK have removed some troops from a major military base in Qatar as President Trump considers whether to take action against Iran over its crackdown on anti-government protests. So what capability does the US actually have in the Middle East?
You know, we have a lot of ships going that direction, just in case. We have a big flotilla going in that direction.
If the United States and Iran come face to face, could this really trigger World War III? Would China and Russia be pulled into the conflict? And could this be the moment when America begins to weaken and China rises as the next global superpower? This is not a rumor, and it's not a Hollywood storyline. These are the very questions being discussed today inside the world's most powerful governments. In this video, we'll break down how far a US-Iran conflict could go, what role China and Russia might play, and if this war escalates, how the global balance of power could change. If you truly want to understand what the future might look like, watch carefully and stay with us until the end. Let's begin. First, we need to understand what the real issue is between the United States and Iran. What is the real conflict? The hostility between the US and Iran is not new. It goes back decades to the moment Iran decided it would break free from American influence and make its own decisions. America's position has always been clear. Iran must never gain enough power to reshape the balance of power in the region. Iran's stance is just as clear. We will not bow to pressure, sanctions, or threats. This constant clash of interests has now reached a point where a single miscalculation could ignite a war. What happens first? If war begins, if a direct conflict breaks out between the United States and Iran, it will not look like a traditional war. The first phase would likely include cyber attacks, disruption of global oil supplies, threats to shipping routes in the Gulf drone, and missile strikes, US military bases in the region becoming targets. This would not remain a single country conflict. It would rapidly turn into a regional war. Where do China and Russia stand? This is where the real game begins. China and Russia may not enter the battlefield immediately, but they will not be silent spectators. For China, this conflict means energy security, global trade routes, and an opportunity created by American weakness. For Russia, it means watching US power erode, putting pressure on NATO and reshaping global alliances. If the war drags on, China and Russia's influence will grow through weapons, diplomacy, and economic leverage. Could this really become World War III? This is the most critical question. The truth is, every major war in history started as a smaller conflict. If more allies are pulled in, the global economy begins to fracture and the balance of power destabilizes. Then this confrontation could evolve into a global war. But World War III wouldn't just be about soldiers and bombs. WWW3 would mean economic collapse, system failures, and the rise and fall of superpowers. Could America actually weaken? Militarily, the United States remains powerful, but its real vulnerabilities lie elsewhere. Internal political division, economic pressure, declining global trust, and war fatigue after decades of conflict. Another major war wouldn't destroy America, but it could significantly reduce its dominance. Could China become the next superpower? China plays a different game. It believes less in war and more in time, patience, economic strength. If America weakens, China won't need to fight power, will naturally shift in its direction. To become a superpower, you don't always have to win wars. Sometimes letting others fight is enough. One thing is absolutely clear from this entire situation. Wars are not won by bombs alone. They are won through power, alliances, economies, and patience. If the US-Iran conflict escalates, its impact will not stay confined to the Middle East. It could reshape the global economy, the balance of power, and the future of the world's superpowers. The real question isn't whether war will happen. The real question is, who will still be standing strong after it's over? In your opinion, if this conflict grows, who benefits the most? The United States, China, Russia, or someone else? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you want fact-based analysis and real-world breakdowns that mainstream media doesn't show, don't forget to follow the channel.